Hello everyone, my name is Michael and welcome back to another episode in the Scrapy Tutorial Series. In this episode we will see how we can use Item Pipeline, and with that said, let's get straight into the video. So what is an Item Pipeline? As you will see, after an item has been scraped by a spider, it is sent to the Item Pipeline, which processes it through several components that are executed sequentially. Each item pipeline component, sometimes referred to as just item pipeline, is a Python class that implements a simple method. They receive an item and perform an action over it, and also deciding if the item should continue through the pipeline or be dropped and no longer processed. Typically, the uses of item pipelines are cleansing HTML data, validating scraped data, checking that the item contains certain fields, checking for duplicates and dropping them, and storing the scraped item in a database. So let's go through each of the usage. As you'll see, you can write your own item pipeline. And here it has an example. And then it shows some examples on how to write items on MongoDB, which is quite useful, and we will do this. You can also take a screenshot of an item. That's useful. And here's how you can activate. Now, when web scraping with Scrapy, proxies are a must. Without them, websites can detect too many requests coming from the same IP address and they will block you. That's why using a good proxy provider like NodeMaven, which is the sponsor of this video, is key, and they offer over 95% clean proxies, helping you avoid detection. Now, the only reason I recommend NodeMaven is because I use it for my own projects and for my client projects. And I only be using NodeMaven for months now, and that's why I partner with them. It's the only proxy provider I trust and I suggest for everyone. Plus, they let you choose between residential and mobile proxies, and even specify details like your country for more precise scrapping. Start using reliable proxies by using the link down in the description, and when you go on your checkout, make sure you click apply coupon here and type Michael to get 2 extra gigabytes at checkout. Now I'll be covering in a future episode how we can use proxies with Scrapy, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Okay, so let's leave this for now and let's go on our code. Let's go on our pipelines.py, and here we will define our pipeline. So let's create our own class. Let's say class quotes, say clean quotes pipeline. Then we will define our process item, which takes the self, item, and spider. And here we'll say item, we'll get the quote. And what we want to do now with the code, as you'll see in our quotes.json, they have quotes. So what I want to do is remove them. Let's go on our pipeline and let's say item.quote.strip, and then we will also say replace, and we want to replace the back quotes and the front quotes actually and the back quotes with nothing, and then we want to return that item. Now to activate this pipeline, we have to go on settings, pipelines, uncomment this. We will pass here our pipeline, and now the number here is the number priority. The lower the number, the earlier it runs. So if this has 1, it will run first. And then if we have other pipelines, for example, if I give this the number 2, this will run second. Now you can also give this 1 and then 100, but this will still run first. Give it 100. So let's go on our terminal. Let's delete our current quotes. And let's go ahead and rescrape this. And as you'll see, the quotes here inside the string are gone, which is perfect. And let's say I want to drop quotes that contain author Albert Einstein. So let me take this, go on our pipeline, and let's say if item author equals to Albert Einstein, we want to raise and then drop item give an error here. Albert Einstein is not allowed, for example. And now to import this, we'll say from scraper.exceptions import drop item. So if the author is Albert Einstein, then we want to drop the item, and here we can give it a reason. Otherwise, return the item. So let's delete the quotes, rerun this, Control F, and as you see, there is no quotes from Albert Einstein. Perfect. So I showed you how to clean your data, how to check that an item contains a certain field, and then dropping them. Okay, this example right here uses Splash. Now I want to show you how to use Splash in another video, which I'll also show you how to render pages with JavaScript using Splash. So I'll leave that for now. Let's go on the duplicate filter. Oh, this is quite useful. Okay, let's see how we'll do this. Okay, so we'll say quotes equals to a set, quotes in equals to a set, and then we'll say if item quote is in the self.quoteScene, we will drop that item. Otherwise, we will add it. And then we will also return this. Now let's see. Actually, no. Because there is probably no duplicate quotes, we will use the author as the duplicate value. Perfect. So we want to not get duplicates on the author. So as you'll see, we have 9 J.K. Rowlings. So let's rerun this. And let's see how many we get. We should only get 1. Perfect. Oh, never mind. Why this didn't work? Oh, right here. I have to also replace this author. Let's rename this as well for clarity. Perfect. Let's rerun this. Wait. Forgot to remove this. Okay, let's rerun this. And now if we search JK, you'll see we only got 1 quote per author. So that's how you can remove duplicates. You can do that for whatever you want, the quote, the author, the tags, however you like. The most useful one, I guess, is using Python.Mongo. Now let's see how we can use the cloud version of Mongo. You can also use a local hosted Mongo, but I guess most of you will be interested in seeing how we can use cloud. So let's use MongoDB Atlas. Okay, so I've signed up for Mongo. Now let me quickly show you how you can create your own instance. It should be quite easy. Okay, let's keep personalization. And of course, select the free one for testing. And let's create deployment. Okay, let's take the username and then also the password. Make sure you save them somewhere. And let's click create database user. I will close this and make sure you go to network access and make sure you click allow access from anywhere, because when you host the script somewhere, I guess you could add the server's IP, but again, you could use your PC IP, like your local IP, and then your server's IP when you host it somewhere. Unless it's a dynamic IP on the server you hosted, so then you probably have to allow access from anywhere. So let's click confirm. Now this should take a bit. So actually, nope. It's loading my sample dataset. Okay, let's leave this for now. Let's click connect. Let's click. And let's go to Python. Let's copy this. Put it here, take the password and fill in the password here. Okay. Let's click done. Browse collections. Okay, it's setting up. I don't think I ever asked that, but make sure. I guess you could create just your own database here and then delete it afterwards. Let's name these quotes. Great. And yeah, let's start using it. So let's implement it inside our script. So I'll do here import pymongo. Now make sure you install that. We'll say pip 3.11, which is my version, install, and then pymongo. Perfect. Now we will create our client here. And here we want to put our URI, which is this one right here. Then as you'll see here, we'll define our database, which is called database in our case. You'll see I name it database. And then our collection, which is quotes. Now let's go back on our documentation and let's see what it's our next steps. So we did create our client. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, it created a pipeline for this. So let's go ahead and do this inside our pipeline. Let's copy this example. Let's say Mongo pipeline, and then on OpenSpider, we will do that. Let's also import PyMongo. Create our client. Then every time we process an item, I would like to insert it to my collection. Where is it? Right here. Insert one. And as you will see, right here I have to use item adapter. And then say to.as directory. Make sure you do like that. I think that should be it. Yeah. Perfect. Now we want to go back to our settings. Let's undo our code here. And then create a new pipeline. And this should always last. Like after all of our pipelines are done, then we want to save it to our database, unless you have another pipeline you want to run after. So let's put a high number here, like 1,000. And I think that should be it. But let's test this out and see what we get. So Scrapy Pro quotes without the -o. And if we go back on our database and refresh, we should be getting quotes here. There we go. Perfect. So that's how you can use your own database. Let's refresh again, and we should have all of our quotes. Yeah, that's it, 49. Perfect. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss my next episodes. And yeah, with that said, see you in the next episode. Goodbye.